Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvasesha Sunyavadi Paschachare Satarine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvasesha Sunyavadi Paschachare Satarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gauravakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gauravakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gauravakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama,
Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Oh Premanandi Hare Krishna Our young members here, where are you young men from?
I'm from India.
India? You on holiday here?
No, I'm student here.
Studying here. Are you? How did you come here tonight?
Okay.
Pardon?
Kirtan.
For kirtan. But how did you get to know about it?
Sita Yeah, Sita
Sita Bhakti. So, okay, you met the devotees at the manor or somewhere? Or? So. And yourself?
I'm from Nepal.
Nepal. Also student?
Yeah.
You studying together?
No, different university.
Different unit. And same thing, Soho?
Yeah.
You know them, Rupanuga Prabhu?
Yeah, I know them, particularly Sujan.
Pardon?
I know both of them, but particularly Sujan. I know more Sujan.
Sujana?
Sujan. His name is Sujan.
Sujam.
Yeah.
Jaya Harmonium. And your name?
Hardik.
Huh?
Hardik. H-R-D-I-K. Hardik.
Hardik.
Yes.
Hardik. And behind?
Anish.
Are you from?
Yeah, I'm from Nepal.
I thought you looked Nepali.
I'm a student.
Oh, you're all students. So, all through your invitation or Sita Balavi's invitation, or how is this? You're inviting all these young Vaishnavas, nice. And some of us are a little bit older. Right, Prashun? We're a little bit older, aren't we, I think. And some are in between.
Maharaj, this is my father.
Where? Oh, Hari Bol Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Great to see you. Where did your father live?
Just down the road.
Everybody lives just down the road. Every time I ask you a question, where do they live? You say just down the road. It must be a very long road, that's all I can say. It must go down a long way.
Yes.
One kilometer away.
1 kilometer.
1 kilometer.
Very close. And staying with other family members or what?
Yes, Maharaj, that is.
No, he's staying alone.
Okay, they don't agree with each other here.
No, I thought other members. So
No,
that is-
family members.
Yeah, Parin Prabhu's daughter.
Daughter? Where?
That's wife and that's son.
That is Kamala and this is
Daughter? Put hand up. Who's the daughter? Daughter? Wife? Where's the wife?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And? Pardon? Son.
Donor.
Huh?
Donor.
Donor?
Donor. Like Donald Trump.
Oh, name. I said donor. I thought donor. He's got his own donor program.
So one daughter is missing. She's not there.
She's not well.
Yeah, she's not.
Not well. Anyway, thank you for coming. It's a midweek day, I know, and it's small, last minute maybe. A little gathering here in Moorwood Park. So I thought we'd just, where's the Bhagavad Gita that we had here? There it is, over behind. Here it comes. Haraki. Thank you. So we just read from Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita. It's 50 years ago that Prabhupada ventured on his journey to, 60 years rather, his journey to America, 1965. So this is the 60th anniversary. Prabhupada's coming to the West. And this time, in July, I think he was still trying to get his paperwork together, maybe his P form or something like that from the State Bank of India, trying to get his clearance papers, and then of course his visa for America. All these things were struggles for him to get. And even his Bhagavad Gita, as you may well know, his manuscript somehow or another disappeared from his room. He never really found out what happened to it. And he had to start again, writing his Bhagavad Gita manuscript. And then upon coming to America, after a while, at first he had no means of doing anything. He had no money, as we know. He was just distributing a few Bhagavatam books which he had with him. He was looking for an opportunity to publish his Bhagavad Gita. And opportunities were not coming, really. I mean, he had no money, he had no real followers. They had no money either. And then, by the Lord's arrangement, of course, is Brahmananda Prabhu, who went eventually to Macmillan, Collier Macmillan Publishing Company in New York, and there was they followed this very unexpected lead. There was, at that time, Prabhupada had, somewhere or other managed, they got it together to produce one record. Somebody had helped them to produce this record. They were distributing the record, Srila Prabhupada singing. I can't remember what is it called, that first record? Can't remember. Anyway, it was a record. And this one person who bought it had written, saying that he very much appreciated the record. He said he worked for Collier Macmillan, the publishing company. So Prabhupada took this as maybe an opportunity. So he sent Brahmananda along to see him, hoping that he could help arrange for the publishing of the Bhagavad Gita. But the man was just like a little office worker. He had no, bottom of the list practically. There was nobody in the company, practically speaking. Anyway, Brahmananda was talking to him about Prabhupada's desire. Just at that moment, a man came into the office and he overheard what they were saying, talking about an English version of the Bhagavad Gita, and the man suddenly became very interested. What is this? That sounds like my phone. Is it? Check it out and see. It doesn't usually make such a noise. Turn it off. And he was very interested. He's, what is this? And then he found out, he said, English translation of Bhagavad Gita, he said. And he was the religious editor for the Collier Macmillan. And he said, that's just what I'm looking for. I'm doing, paperback presentations of all the main religious scripts. But we don't have any Bhagavad Gita. Can you give me the manuscript? So he did. And sure enough, that man was able to get Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita published. Shortened version, it was abridged. Maybe you've seen the abridged version. Prabhupada wasn't, he was happy that something was done. He wasn't too happy that it was abridged. And for a few years, that's all we had, the abridged version. We didn't have, this is the full version with all the purport, Sanskrit, everything. That abridged version was just all the verses in English and some of the purports, but no Sanskrit, hardly any index. Very brief edition, maybe less than half the size. But it was something, and from that, even abridged, so many people became convinced and about the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. So, what to speak of the full edition? I remember when the full edition came out in 1972, it reached England. Maybe in 71 it was printed, I don't know, but we got it in 72, and it was very big. Have you seen that original one? We had it both soft and hard, but mainly soft. It was a big, soft-bound book, really big. I don't know how to describe it. Thicker than this and bigger than this. And of course, this picture on the front, but it was the whole front, And it was amazing going on the streets with this huge book and trying to distribute it on Oxford Street. Wherever we were, we went all over England trying to distribute this. Cardiff, Bristol, Reading, everywhere. And trying to sell this big book, which we never sold a big book before, really. I mean, we'd had a few Krishna books, but not much. This was the first major big book distribution in England, really. We had a party traveling around 1972, around the country. We didn't come to here. We didn't come here. Moor Park, or Carpenter's Park or Green. We didn't go there. We didn't even go to Watford. We just went to the major cities in all those days. But again, many people got this Bhagavad Gita, and such an effect it had on people. They were maybe a little ready. Most people are not quite ready. They can't quite digest it. They open up. And it's a little foreign to them in many ways, isn't it? I mean, they see Sanskrit. It's impressive, but it's hard for them to apply. But it will take time, but eventually it will work. So I'll read a little bit from this 15. We've opened on the 15th chapter, if you want to follow. And we open, let's see, should we go back a verse or two? No, we'll start on text number 5. It's a reasonably well-known verse. Is everybody familiar with the Bhagavad Gita?
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody here, is this like a foreign topic? Himanshu Prabhu, do you know everybody here?
Yes, ma'am.
Are they all familiar?
Yes, ma'am.
To some degree at least. So this is the 15th chapter, text number 5, if you want to follow or not. I mean, you can follow by hearing, but by seeing also. Just interesting to mention that I was listening this afternoon, to Vaisheshika Prabhu. Have you all heard of Vaisheshika Prabhu?
Yes, ma'am.
He's the ISKCON Minister of Book Distribution. Probably wonder what that is. Anyway, as a senior Prabhupada disciple, who's very, very advanced, very enthusiastic. He comes here also. Anybody here his disciple? He has disciples in Soho, doesn't he?
Yes.
A few maybe at the Manor, I don't know. But, it just reminded me, I mean, he's always talking about the importance of the actual book. Many people now, just like almost everyone in here, is looking at a mobile phone, I think. Those who are looking at anything. You're looking at your mobile to find the verse, isn't it? It's okay. I'm not telling you not to do that. But some kind of e-reader or whatever it is. And it was a report I have 3 reports, right? You didn't read them all, but I have 3 reports. One from psychologists, one from scientists, and one from a general kind of, reporting point of view. All 3 of them were in agreement that the result of using a book as opposed to an e-book or a mobile or a computer is vastly different. They said the apprehension and the ability to absorb are 6 to 8 times higher with the book than it is with an electronic. And what to speak of all the psychological effects that go along after that. That's just a practical effect. So many points they were making. Now these are professionals. They are not book publishers. They are not out on a campaign. It's just a neutral report which university professors have made. So just bear that in mind. There's nothing like having the book in your hand. And many people are realizing this now. The value of the book itself. So many factors involved. Health factors and mental factors are also, not just comprehensive factors. So let's look at text number 5. Homajnana Timrandasya Jana Shalakaya Chakshur Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakata Mayam Dadati Svapadantikam. That's okay. That's good. Nirmana Moha Jita Sangadosha Nirmana Moha Jita Sangadosha Adhyatmatin Nityai Vinivritta Kamaha Adhyatma Nitya Vinivritta Kamaha Dvandvaya Vimukta Sukha Dukha Sanyaya Dvandvaya Vimukta Sukha Dukha Sanyaya Gacchantya Mudha Padam Avyayam Yat Gacchantya Mudha Padam Avyayam Tat Nirmana Moha Jita Sangadosha Adhyatma Nitya Vinivritta Kamaha Dvandvaya Vimukta Sukha Dukha Sanyaya Gacchantya Mudha Padam Avyayam Tat. Would anyone like to chant?
Sorry to disturb class, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Jai.
Nirmana Moha Jita Sangadosha Adhyatma Nitya Vinivritta Kamaha
Adhyatma Nitya Vinivritta Kamaha
Vande Vimukta Sukha Dukha Sangay
Dvandvaya Vimukta Sukha Dukha Sanyaya
Gacchanti Amuda Padam Ayam Tat
Gacchantya Mudha Padam Avyayam Tat
Nirmana Moha Jita Sangha Dosha
Nirmana Moha Jita Sangadosha
Adhyatma Nitya Vinivritta Kama
Adhyatma Nitya Vinivritta Kamaha
Dvandre Vimukta Sukha Dukha Sangye
Dvandvaya Vimukta Sukha Dukha Sanyaya
Gacchanta Mudha Padam Yavyakata
Gacchantya Mudha Padam Avyayam Tat
Nirmana Moha Jita Sangha Dosha
Nirmana Moha Jita Sangadosha
Adhyatma Nitya Vinivritta Kama
Adhyatma Nitya Vinivritta Kamaha
Dvandre Vimukta Sukha Dukha Sangye
Mukta Sukha Dukha Sanyaya
Gacchantya Mudha Padam Avyayam Tat
Gacchantya Mudha Padam Avyayam Tat. Are you familiar in Nepal with the Hare Krishna movement there? You know Patri?
Yeah, I know.
Is he your guide? He's amazing. Does everybody know Patri? Yeah? Amazing devotee, isn't he? He's very special, one of those special souls who've come, Lord Chaitanya is sent to spread Krishna consciousness. So many thousands of devotees in Nepal who've been inspired by him, isn't it? 100 temples or something in Nepal. Incredible. Yeah. Any ladies?
Nirmana moha jita sangha dosha
Nirmana moha jita sangha dosha
Adhyatma nitya vinivritta kama
Adhyatma nitya vinivritta kama
Dvandver vimukta sukha dukha sangne
Dvandve vimukta sukha dukha sangye
Gacchantya muda padam avyayam tat
Gacchantya mudha padam avyayam tat
Nirmana moha jita sangha dosha
Nirmana moha jita sangha dosha
Adhyatma nitya vinivritta kama
Adhyatma nitya vinivritta kamaha
Dvandver vimukta sukha dukha sangne
Dvandva vimukta sukha dukha sangye
Gacchantya muda padam avyayam tat
Gacchantya mudha padam avyayam tat. Hare Krishna. Word for word. Nihi. Without. Mana. False prestige. Mohaha. And illusion. Jita. Having conquered. Sangha. Of association. Doshaha. Flat pancake. No. Indian pancake. South Indian pancake. The fourth. Adhyatma. In spiritual knowledge. Nitya. In eternity. Vinivita. Disassociated. Kamaha. From lust. Dvandvaihi. From the dualities. Vimuktaha. Liberated. Sukha dukkha. Happiness and distress. Sukha dukkha. Sangyai. Named. Gachanti. Attain. Amudaha. Unbewildered. Padam. Situation. Avyayam. Eternal. Tat. That. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. Those who are free from false prestige, illusion, and false association, who understand the eternal, who are done with material lust, who are freed from the dualities of happiness and distress, and who, unbewildered, know how to surrender unto the Supreme Person, attain to that eternal kingdom. Purport. The surrendering process is described here very nicely. The first qualification is that one should not be deluded by pride. Because the conditioned soul is puffed up, thinking himself the lord of material nature, it is very difficult for him to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why is it difficult to surrender?
Because the person is thinking he's the controller.
Well, yeah, we're thinking we're the controller, or false pride, isn't it? But what does it entail? What does that entail? Why is it difficult to surrender? Yeah, you think you're the control, but that's a kind of a theory, isn't it? Description.
Ego.
What is false pride? I mean, I guess understanding a little bit about false pride would be...
False ego.
Yeah, that's another way of saying false pride, isn't it? What does it mean?
I and mine.
I and mine will go a little bit more descriptive.
I own everything. And
Okay, you think things are yours?
Proprietor.
Pardon?
You are the owner of everything.
That's a similar way of saying the same thing. You think everything's mine. Anything else?
I am independent.
I'm independent, okay. Independent of what? Everything.
Yeah.
I'm completely
I do
independent.
not, I do not,
I'm the center of the universe, okay. I'm not dependent upon anyone else. Okay? We're hardly going to surrender to Krishna if you think yourself not dependent on anyone. Anything else? Controller. So we're proprietor, controller, independent. Anything else?
Attachment.
Pardon?
Attachment.
You're attached. Yeah, you're attached to this world, of course. Attached to your body, attached to your your possessions and so on, your family. Anything else?
Pride. Yeah.
Huh?
Pride. Pride.
pride.
Well, that's what we started with, wasn't it?
That's right.
Going in a circle
Lack
there.
of knowledge.
Huh?
Lack of knowledge is.
Lack of knowledge may be there also, but that's not necessarily due to pride. It may be just due to you haven't come across it yet. But when you do, you'll accept it. So it may not be. Huh?
Ignorance is a cause. Ignorance.
Well, that's a little bit lack of knowledge, isn't it? It's the opposite. Anything else?
You think you are the doer of everything.
You think you're the doer of everything? Yes.
Everything happens because
Yeah.
of your...
You think you're the doer and doer. Yeah. You think that even in devotional practices, sometimes we do identify ourselves a little bit with being the doer, don't we? We do identify ourselves sometimes as being somewhat independent. We do sometimes identify things as mine, don't we? We do sometimes identify, our mind, our body, or whatever concept we have of ourselves as being me, isn't it? We do think we're the controller. The doer, the controller are similar. We think we're in control. We were reading in the 5th chapter, right, this afternoon, do you remember?
Yes,
You remember what we read?
to
We read a lot, we read the whole chapter. But, I mean, what did we read in regards to this?
basically Bhakti Yoga is the...
Burfi yoga?
Bhakti Yoga.
Bhakti yoga.
Bhakti.
Burfi yoga sounds very good, I like that. You have Burfi. When Kolangana was there, we had Burfi yoga at the manor. It's not the same now.
Mangal Aarti sweets.
We had Burfi yoga and Sandesh yoga. And he didn't add any of the yoga, that was enough. And in itself, one of her sweets was enough to keep you going for another day at least. Back to yoga, okay. What did we read?
You could concentrate between your eyes.
Oh, you can okay. That's the answer. You can concentrate between your eyes. Okay. Very good point.
That was one way of...
That was isn't amazing. That's the last but one verse of the chapter. Yeah, you can concentrate between your eyes. Okay. But in terms of what we just read there just now,
Better option was to surrender to Krishna.
that's a fact. Better than concentrating between the eyes. Concentrate on Krishna. You never know what's between your eyes. Where is it here? Here. Text number 8 and 9. Krishna says, a person in divine consciousness, although engaged in seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, moving, sleeping, and breathing, always knows within himself that he actually does nothing at all. Because while speaking, evacuating, receiving, or opening or closing his eyes, he always knows that only the material senses are engaged with their objects, and that he is aloof from them. Material nature is a living entity. Due to desire, of course, he's placed in a certain position. But the false ego is he thinks that I'm doing this. And I'm the enjoyer or the sufferer of the results. The real thing is that the living entity thinks that, he's the enjoyer of everything. I'm the enjoyer. Everything's meant. You're meant for my enjoyment. And if you don't bring enjoyment to me, I don't like you. You're my enemy sometimes. Everything's like that. We judge it according to how we experience that contact of the senses with the sense objects. But the soul is actually just a witness to this. It's also said a similar thing. I don't know which verse it was in, I can't see. One previous verse or later verse says exactly the same thing. That we're not the doer. There's a very famous verse. Was that in the third chapter? Prakriti kriyamani gunai karmani sarvashaha. What number? 27 or something? 327?
Yes.
Well, you scholars are here. Here it is, yeah. I mean, there Krishna says, the spirit soul, bewildered by the influence of the false ego, thinks himself the doer of activities that are in actuality carried out by the three modes of nature. This is the false ego. We think we're the doer, the enjoyer, the proprietor, and so on. As long as we're putting ourselves, how can we think Krishna is an order supplier, not as the object of our service, but rather he's meant to facilitate my intention, my agenda. Give me this. Help me with this mentality. If at all we have an interest in God. If at all. So this false pride, where are we? Yes. The first qualification was shown not be deluded by pride, or this falsity, false prestige. There is pride of another kind, but false pride is when we're misidentifying, we have a misidentity. We're not understanding our real identity. Because the conditioned soul is puffed up, thinking himself the lord of material nature, it is very difficult for him to surrender unto the Supreme Lord. And we see this in the material world, even without God consciousness, how people have a difficult time surrendering. I remember months and months ago we discussed what Prithu Prabhu pointed out, that the most difficult thing for leaders to say is, I'm sorry, I was wrong. It's next to impossible, they say. They're they'll fight to the death even if they're wrong, about trying to justify their so-called rights. People fight like this. This humility is almost absent. One should know by the cultivation of real knowledge that he is not the lord of material nature. It's not just by knowledge, it's by the cultivation of real knowledge. Knowledge of, how to grow potato is all very well, but you have to cultivate it, otherwise it doesn't have the effect. You have to cultivate that knowledge to produce the result. Sometimes we just have knowledge, which in terms of Krishna consciousness is something, but it's not enough. We have to cultivate that knowledge. What does that mean? To cultivate the knowledge. Quite a simple question. How do you cultivate knowledge? We know how we cultivate a field. It's the same principle, but it's just maybe a different action. How do you cultivate something?
You have to practice.
Pardon?
You have to practice.
You have to practice. You have to put into practice what?
What you learn.
The knowledge. You have to put this way, quite simple, wasn't it? You have to put the knowledge into practice in the right way. It's the same thing with everything, really. So we have to cultivate that knowledge by putting it into practice. By the cultivation of real knowledge, one can realize, well, not doesn't say that, but we're cultivating that activity as well, which helps us to realize we are not the Lord of material nature. Ah, look at this. Woohoo! Now they're getting serious. Cultivating knowledge. My God. I'll immediately give it to someone else. I don't want that. Pass it on straight away. Oh, you have your electronic methodology. There we go. Wonderful. And you have many varieties of Gitas. How many versions do you have here?
I've got one very original.
4? I can see 3 or 4 straight away. I can see 4 with my right from here. 5. I can see. Where'd you get that white one from?
Apple.
Okay, not from my room, I hope. If you want one of those white ones, I do have some, by the way.
Very small.
Huh?
Very small printing, Maharaj.
Don't put people off. You're not going to sell many books like that, are you? Take this book. It's really small printing. It's very hard to read. I can't read it myself. But anyway, you take it.
It's practically small.
Pardon? It's easy. Yeah, it's easy to carry. Not much use carrying it if you can't read it. So this is 15.5 if you haven't cottoned on. We're not the Lord of material nature. The problem with the one, I don't know, is that the Hebrew? No, that's just without the Sanskrit. It's still a full version. What are you doing back there?
For the memory.
No worries for the memory. We've lost our memory. One should know, but we read that. We are not the Lord of material nature. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the Lord. You know, I mean, we may not accept the second part, but at least we should be able to understand the first part. Whether we accept there's a God or not, but to accept it, or, you know, logically and practically and by experience understand that we are not the master of the material energy. That shouldn't be too difficult. But this is the false prestige of the living entity, that we still think that I'm not the master of everything, I'm the master of something. But it's a false concept. When one is free from delusion, what is delusion? What is delusion?
Misunderstanding.
Misunderstanding? Anything? Yeah, take it further. Any other angle for that?
I would say false understanding.
Pardon? False understanding?
Wrong understanding. Not
Similar, misunderstanding, wrong understanding, false understanding.
Thinking oneself as a body.
Well, that's a specific, isn't it? That's like one of the results. Delusion. You're in delusion.
Ignorance.
Yeah, well, you kind of, I guess you got it really. Any other angle on delusion? Person is deluded.
It's a fixed, firm belief in something that is incorrect.
Pardon?
Actually, a fixed and firm belief in something that is
Yeah, it's basically Maya, isn't it? You're in Maya. Under the illusory energy. You're deluded by Maya. When one is free from this delusion, and we think it's caused by Maya, in one sense it is, but in reality it's not. Or let's say in a more deeper way, it's caused by this pride. Maya is not like, you know that story, I don't know many of these examples, like many of our younger devotees do now. They're very bright and they're all updated with things, but we only remember the old ones. But Prabhupada would sometimes refer to that story of the man who was, the king, or a powerful man. He was wondering what is it that causes, the living entity to be so much, entangled in this world, and how Maya keeps us in illusion like this. What is it? What is it? And he wasn't really satisfied with all his courtesans and ministers who were trying to answer his questions. And then one old man or one blind man came into the room, and he was stumbling around, and everyone thought, get him out of here, he's blind, and what he's doing here. The king let him stay, and the man suddenly went up to a tree and grabbed the tree with his arms and screamed out, let me go, let me go, let me go. And everyone was laughing, thinking he was crazy. But the king could understand what he was doing. He was answering his question. It is not that Maya is holding on to us, we're holding on to Maya. That's false pride. We're holding on to Maya. We think Maya is for me, for my enjoyment. We're holding on there. But then, when we're suffering, of course, then, perhaps. And you heard that story, what is it now? They used to do the drama at the manor. I don't know if they still do it, but it's the fish, was it called the fish out of water? I don't call it that, but the fellow is like suffering so much, and Maya comes along with another temptation. I haven't seen it for decades. Another temptation, try this. Never mind, that didn't work. Try this, don't worry. Oh, Maya, you're so kind, thank you very much. Gives him a cigarette or a bottle of beer, and then a girl, and then a bit of money, and then different things. He's never satisfied, no matter what. He sees Maya as his best friend. I can satisfy my desires. He says deluded. It's because of his false pride. So Maya reciprocating. For one who is always expecting some honor in this material world, it is not possible to surrender to the Supreme Person. In other words, another angle now is when we have no humility. Humility is a very interesting word. We were discussing it earlier on, weren't we? Again, a root, say a general root, not just from scripture, but a root definition of humility. And many different angles are there when it comes to humility, but in terms of linguistics, in terms of usage, word usage, some of you know where humility comes from. Some of you have heard it, some of you already know it probably. The word is, in the Western usage, is coming from a Latin word. And you may have heard this word if you're a gardener, humus. You know humus? It's nothing to do with humor. It's nothing to do with that paste which you eat. Maybe, but don't think so. What is humus?
Earth. Ground.
Pardon?
Earth.
Earth. It's kind of mature, it's like very fertile earth. It's almost like manure practically. It's very fertile earth. Humus. It was originally means that the earth or the soil is taken on a specific meaning to usually is kind of almost like, the full of proteins and the real rich aspect, but it basically means earth or soil. So what has humility got to do with that? It's very interesting. What is Lord Chaitanya, one of his key verses that we we are supposed to apply in our lives. Tarodapi Sahishnana. Trinadapi Snichena. Mandamanadena. What is Trinadapi Snichena? What is that?
Lower than a blade of grass.
Lower than the straw on the street. Huh? What is lower than the straw on the street?
Soil.
The soil, the humus. So it is related to that. And it's related to a few other things. You could look at being down to earth. And don't get, puffed up like that. Being what you are, or what you've been given by the Lord. And many other ways we can look at it. But that mood of seeing oneself down there. But still acting, and still, not that therefore we're useless. Everyone has their part to play, but in this humble way. Interesting word. Pride is due to illusion. And because we're proud, we're an illusion. It's kind of one of those devil things. For though one comes here, stays for a brief time, and then goes away, he has the foolish notion that he is the Lord of the world. He thus makes all things complicated, and he is always in trouble. How do you think he makes things complicated? How do we make things complicated?
Like you keep doing things and then it doesn't pan out, but you still think that I'll keep doing.
That's one way of looking at it. You never end. You have to find a way. It's with another way, another thing. And we can look at our modern society today. People are not satisfied with simplicity generally. They may be, but they're not brought up with that idea. And it's very complicated. Just take the education system as a simple example. Now, what did you study?
Chartered accountants.
What did you study?
Economics.
What did you study?
Medicine.
What do you study?
Engineering.
What do you study?
Maths.
What do you study?
Medicine.
Medical.
Design and listing.
Design.
Tourism.
Tourism. Nothing. Okay, next. What did you study?
Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita.
Admin.
Business and finance.
Did Dad study? Where is he? Did Dad study?
No, we left school at the age of 12.
Good man. Well done.
He was helping his
The only
father.
intelligent person in the room. What did you study?
Business management.
Business management. I can't see who's behind. There he is.
Become LLB.
Pardon?
Lawyer.
Become LLB.
Lawyer.
Lawyer.
Lawyer. Oh, you're legal. How did you end up being catering?
It's Krishna's willing.
Computer technology.
Computer technology.
Accounting.
Economics?
Accounting.
Accounting? Economics based. Anything?
Business and finance.
Business and finance. Anyone else?
Dentistry.
Dentistry, another dentist. Wow. Are you still studying or you finished?
No, I'm
Working now.
not. Microbiology.
Microbiology. Whoa. Someone at the back there, I can't see them.
She's hiding.
Hiding there. Any study or not? No study?
No, she also left study early.
Good.
She was helping the family.
You're a part of your family too.
No, she's a good friend.
Good friend. Wonderful. Anyway, they're not so complicated, but there's so many things you can study nowadays. I mean, the subjects were quite simple even 50 years ago. There was only not a very big list of subjects that you'd study. Now it's vast, cross-section, broken down. There's so many details. Even if you want to become a garbage man, a dustbin man, you have to have some kind of diploma. To cook in a restaurant, you have to have a diploma, isn't it? Everything's like, you've got to have some kind of education, although you know how to do it. The education does nothing. You've got an electrical engineering degree, you don't even know how to change a light bulb, quite often. Yes. So complicated. The world is so complicated as well. Because why we're not satisfied? We're not satisfied. They're always coming up with new things, isn't it? Everything, all the time. People are not satisfied. They complicate things like anything. It's unnatural. It's an unnatural world. Every sphere of life is becoming everything's becoming complicated. Even sport used to be a simple thing. You just go out and play, have a good time, say la vie. Now it's like so much legal stuff, financial stuff, isn't it? Fighting over it, so many things, politics over it practically. Wars are practically fought over these things. We have so complicated world in every respect. There's very little simplicity. And the other aspect of complication is people are not really finding themselves. You're a slot in society. You're trying to you go from one thing to another sometimes. You study law one year and cooking the next. And the next year you think, well, maybe I'll be a doctor. Next year, perhaps I'll be a flight engineer. I'll try that now. Maybe I should be a caterer. Yes, a caterer. I'm ending up catering after 7 degrees and 2 masters and 3 PhDs and whatever else you got. You end up catering at pop festivals or rock concerts or something. It's fine, perfectly fine, but it's just so complicated world. Difficult to find where you fit in anymore. What will be where you can be happy. The whole world moves under this impression. People are considering the land, the earth, to belong to human society, and they have divided the land under the false impression that they are the proprietors. Isn't it? I mean, that's really obvious. That's as clear as a bell. Anyone can understand that, the divisions that have been made. Because we think we're the proprietors. This is our land. Yeah? It makes life, again, very complicated. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you're here tonight, but the person who owns his house, he thinks it's his house. He thinks this garden, everything belongs to him, Yeah. You know that?
Yes.
No, he doesn't really think like that. But we may think like that sometimes. We usually do.
Srila Prabhupada explained that up to 5,000 years ago, there were only one flag, one emperor.
One flag? England. Royal Jack, the Union Jack, the only flag. You're right. Royal Britannia rolls the waves. Britain never, never, never shall be slaves. Yes. We rule the world. We're the only ones.
Does that mean that there were no countries before?
No countries. Well, during the Vedic time, there were countries, in a sense, kingdoms, but they were all under one emperor. You see that with Parikshit Maharaj or Yudhishthira Maharaj, the Rajasuya sacrifice. They'd all do that. Who's the emperor? And every king had their own kingdom. He didn't poke his nose in, but they all submitted to the emperor. They all followed the emperor. They were all working under his direction. It was his responsibility. Like that. Is that okay?
Yes, Maharaj.
They had their own kingdoms. But because there's one emperor, they all worked. I mean, sometimes there was there were quarrels, and the emperor then had to get involved. But
so the land was divided already?
yeah, it's the Kshatriya's business. I mean, the whole world belongs to God, but the Kshatriya's business is, within his own kingdom also, the Kshatriyas have to allot land. The Vaishyas don't own the land. The land is owned by the king, under the direction of the emperor, under the direction of God, under the direction of the Brahmins, who are under the direction of God. Everything was owned by the Brahmins, in one sense, but they had more important things to do than fiddle around looking after the land. So they left that up to the Kshatriyas, who then divided up the Vaishyas to utilize it for producing food in the proper way according to scriptural injunctions, and engaging the vast majority of people just in farming. None of you are farmers by the sounds of it. Maybe pharmacists, but not farmers. Isn't it? How many? When you ask, how often do you meet a farmer nowadays? You have a few, but there's a couple of them at the manor there. One Indian man, he came to New Mayapur, he's a farmer. Forgotten his name. Were you there when he came? You may not have been there. A whole group of them, they're all farmers from part-time, he's a full-time. But the farmers, they really know how to farm. They're really living for farming. But you don't meet many, especially young people, isn't it? I mean, I don't know, they must have a farm. Obviously they've got colleges for this. But you rarely meet someone who's actually studying that. And even if they are, it's all theoretical. Most of the farming now, the qualifications, they sit in an office with a computer. In New Zealand, they don't even go to the farm unless there's a problem. There are farms in New Zealand with no farmers there at all. All done by machines. The milking of the cows is done all computer-wise. There are no people there. Everything's done by computer. There's the farmer sits in an office in the city and he monitors everything that's going on from there. He's called a farmer.
Farming has a wrong definition here, like fish farming, cows.
Well, that's of course another thing. What they're doing there is another thing. Fish farms, dairy farms, animal farms, this farm, that farm. And even the ones growing crops, they've got like 10,000 acres and like 8 massive machines that plow 2,000 acres in one day, like that. And all these big things that pour things on it, you just presses a button and away it goes. It's rare to meet an actual farmer nowadays, very rare. But that was 90% of the occupation in ancient times, farming. Noble, Prabhupada said the most noble activity, farming. But very few people are doing it now, very few. They're all doing some technology of some kind, some artificial things. I mean, even when, with all due respect, but even things like accounting and all this are not required. They're only due to the false society that we live in. That's all. So many things like law, even legal law, everything, isn't it? That would be settled in the local village by the village elders. Any problems would be settled. You don't need to. Court case that goes on for 12 years and costs £200 million or something. So much money, isn't it? So much complicated. World communications, everything's so complicated now.
It will get worse, Maharaj.
Huh?
It will get worse with the advancement of
AI.
AI.
Get better. Better is get better. Artificial intelligence will solve all the problems, don't we? You don't have to think anymore. It's going to answer everything. You don't need to think. What's up? Prabhupada said don't think. He said no. You have to know. Artificial intelligence knows. Gives you the right answer. That's what I say. What to do? It's Kali Yuga. One has to get out. Where do we get to? The whole world moves under this. People are considering, we read that, unfortunately. One has to get out of this false notion that human society is the proprietor of this world. We're trying to control it, because we're not the controller, therefore it becomes really complicated. And when we're as a fish out of water, when we're wrongly situated, life becomes very complicated. Even the whole Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna, he didn't want to fight, did he? He didn't want to fight. He thought it'd be the right thing to do not to fight. Krishna says, nonsense. Call him a nonsense. And when you're not rightly situated, life becomes really complicated. So people are not rightly situated, neither spiritually nor materially. And everyone spiritually is not rightly situated, but they work under the spiritual knowledge, and that helps them to be more satisfied and less disturbed, and hankering for something else. You see that in politics. I mean, every single government, comes in. We're going to do what the other ones didn't do. They've ruined everything, but we're going to put everything right. We're going to give you what you want. You're going to this. Does it happen? Tell us. Is it? No? Isn't it funny? We still vote for them, you know. Last time, it's like in Philippines. Huh? Philippines. You heard of Philippines? Anyone here from Philippines? No. But Philippines. I think about 40, 50 years ago, they chased the Marcos family out. The leaders in Philippines, the Marcos family, they were totally dictatorial. Exploited the country upside down. It was rich. They had a lot of natural resources. They raped the country of all the gold and all the wealth. It all got shipped out. And they were kicked out, literally kicked out. It was a coup. They kicked them out. And they've just voted them back in again. They've called them back in to rule the country again. Crazy, huh? People, they don't know what they're doing. What's happening out there?
Closing the windows.
Okay.
It's very windy.
No, windy. Good. A pure force, Krishna says, I am the wind. When one is freed from such a false notion, he becomes free from all the false associations. That's freed of this notion that we're the proprietor or the enjoyer. We have to become free of that mentality. When one is free from such a false notion, he becomes free from all false associations caused by familial, social, and national affections. It doesn't mean like this, but it means that by following this process, one gradually and naturally becomes free from the false identity which is therein. This is my family, my country, my property, my society, even my religion, my this, my that. Free from that. Understand one's real identity. Who is the real owner? How can you really get peace? At the end of the 5th chapter, what does Krishna say? Carry on. Bhoktaram yagatapasam sarva suridam yatvamam shantim vichati. If you want peace, shantim vichati, then what is the formula? Some will call this the peace formula.
Understand that the Supreme Lord is the proprietor of...
He's the proprietor, Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He's also, everything's meant for his pleasure. We're not the enjoyer. He's the enjoyer. Bhuktaram Yagatapasa, meant for a sacrifice, for his pleasure. Suridam Sarvabhutanam.
The friend of every...
He's the real friend. He's our real friend. One who understands this becomes free from the dualities, the suffering, the misery of material existence. Peaceful. These 40 associations bind one to this material world. We do. We become, as someone mentioned, attached, very attached. We become overly attached. Huh? So attached, isn't it? Insanely attached sometimes. You go crazy. You go mad when you lose things which you're attached to. Particularly family members or your body, money, mobiles. It can drive you mad. Sometimes you lose your way, you panic, you go crazy. When you lose things. These 40 associations bind us in this world. After this stage, one has to develop spiritual knowledge, one has to cultivate knowledge of what is actually his own, and what is actually not his own. What does that mean? What is actually his own? I thought we didn't own anything. Cultivate knowledge of what is actually one's own.
He has to cultivate knowledge that Krishna is his own and nothing else is his own.
Well, that's a very spiritual perspective. Prabhupada said that himself. But what, in terms of practicality, is there anything to be understood? Well, there's a verse in the Bhagavad, in the Ishopanishad. What is that verse? Pardon? nobody knows it. You can say anything if nobody knows it, you know. Nobody knows it anyway.
There's a verse where it says,
Ishavasyam.
idam sarvam yatkinchit jagatyam jagat tena taktena vanchita magriha.
Yes. You did your Bhakti Sarvabhauma.
Yes,
Yeah.
almost.
What does it mean? Ishavasyam idam sarvam yat kinchadikachyam tena tyaktena punchika magvida kashya svidanam. What's it mean?
Everything belongs to Krishna.
everything is in this universe.
Everything animate, inanimate,
Within this universe
yeah,
is owned and controlled by the
property of the Supreme Lord.
And, one should be satisfied with what is given to him.
What is your quota? Word uses quota. Everyone has a quota. It doesn't mean you have to distribute 100 Bhagavad Gitas during the marathon. Not that, not exactly that type of quota. But everyone has been given by God a certain quota. That means you've got a body, it's got nature, mind, body. You have your nature, it's your quota. You're supposed to work within that, not imitate others, or not usurp others' position, or try to control them, or divert them away from their nature. You take your quota, and knowing well, everything belongs to God ultimately, but you have a quota which He's given us. That's our responsibility. In that sense, it is ours, in the sense of Krishna's given it to us to look after it, to utilize. That we should use, but we shouldn't try to take others, exploit others. So we shouldn't do that. That's the Ishavashram society. God's given us that, but with God in the center, or Krishna in the center. One has to cultivate, and when one has an understanding of things as they are, he becomes free from all dual conceptions. This is the result. It's like we see in the Bhagavad Gita description of the various elements and so on. Happiness and distress are included in it because they're a result of this, false idea of how we relate to the various elements. You feel happy or distressed, the context of the senses with the sense objects. But when one understands things as they are, then one is no longer affected by happiness. Throughout the whole Bhagavad Gita, we find Krishna brings this up, being undisturbed in the midst of, different dualities. Huh? This is just one of happiness. There's a famous verse in the 2nd chapter, in fact, probably the first indication of this. What does Krishna say in the 2nd chapter? I think it's text 15 or something. 14, 15, something like that. Atrasparshas tu konteya kaushna sukha dukkada agmapayana nityas. If you study Bhakti Shastri, this is one of the verses you're supposed to know, I think. Some of you have studied it or are studying it maybe. What does it mean? Matasparshas tu konteya shatoshna sukha dukkada agmapayana nityas tamstatikshashrabhara. What does it mean? 2:15 is it? 2:14. Someone can also look. I'll look also.
It's 2:14.
2:14. Good. 2:14. O son of Kunti, the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress, and their disappearance in due course, are like the appearance and disappearance of winter and summer seasons. They arise from sense perception of sky and of bark, and one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. This is the first direct reference to this, but there's so many other references throughout the Bhagavad Gita, right up to the last chapter. In the very last chapter, what does Krishna say? One of the, not the last verses, but one of the last, maybe, I don't know what number it is. Brahmabhuta prasanatma nasochiti nakamshati. No hankering, no lamenting. being equipoised, undisturbed by these dualities of life. Only then can you actually approach Brahman. And it's only when we come to that Brahman, we're undisturbed, not just undisturbed, of course, but that's one prerequisite. But the spiritual platform, that one can really begin devotional service. We're practicing up to now. He becomes fully knowledge, then it's possible for him to surrender. There's another famous verse in the Bhagavad Gita, which is a bit of a slow process. Bahunam jamanamante gyanavamam prapadyate. You know that verse? Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samhapasula. What does it mean? Who knows where that verse is? Bahunam 7? 7:14. You probably sounds good. Isn't that Daiviyesha Gunamaya? Or maybe you're right. I don't know. Yeah, I'm right. Good. I haven't lost it yet. I had the solicitor testing me today to see if I've got dementia. So not completely gone. What number is it? I said Daiviyesha Gunamaya, that's 7:14. Huh? No, but that's not the verse I quoted. 7:19, okay. Huh? Yeah, 7:19. Bhavunam Jamanamate, after many births and deaths, he was actually in knowledge, surrenders unto me. So that's the slow process of coming to that point. What's the quick track of coming to that point? One-stop solution, Prabhupada said, of surrendering to Krishna. How do we surrender? You come to France and help us in France. See? I did it. That was the purpose of the whole class. If you really want to achieve success here, give up everything else, pack your bags, sell everything, just move to France and surrender, okay? Work on the fields in New Mayapur. Okay. Good idea? Yes. We had it all set up. Boom, boom, boom. Don't worry, you can come and cater also. We need a lawyer there, we need a doctor there, we need an accountant there, we need a cook there, we need a seamstress there, we need a dentist there. We've got a dentist there already. We don't. No harm in having another one. We'll have 2 makes transcendentalist.
Transcendental. Yeah, transcendentalist.
We need a physiotherapist, masseur, someone who's not studied anything. Everything's required there. Good cooks. Anyway, aside from that, it's a joke. Anything else? How we can come up there? I mean, yes, that's one way of doing it, but probably not possible to do that at the moment.
Offer all the fruits of all your activities to Krishna.
That's one of the ways Krishna says, isn't it, in the Bhagavad Gita? What does he say? Where's that famous verse? 9th chapter, isn't it? What verse number? 20 what? 25 or something?
9th and 18th.
Huh? What is it? Huh? Whatever you do, whatever you eat, Yat karosya dasnasya johosi dadasya itapasi kuntiya. What's it? What number? Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer, whatever you give away, do it as a sacrifice and offering unto me.
9:27.
9 what? 27? 27. 9:27. And the other verse, of course, which is the real bhakti verse, isn't it? What's that? Patram pushpam palam toyam. You offer it to me, with love. Not just offer it to me. We may offer it to Krishna, but is there any love there? Is there really love? Or are we just doing it? Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu. Really good burger, Prabhu. Where'd you get the bread from? Which shop? Right? something slightly mechanical there, you know, quite often. It's okay at the beginning, it's certainly better than nothing, but it's hardly, you know, Priti Lakshana, it's hardly with love and devotion. Something there. So how does that develop?
Always thinking of it.
Thinking of Krishna, yeah, that's like another topic, but on this particular, not in totally another topic, but it's a particularly specific verse. But on that topic, how does that transform from, you know, Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu, Sri Vishnu, thank you for the burger, to actually offering Krishna for his pleasure, not for mine. There's some mechanics involved, and then there's some other factors you could say. The mechanics is, of course, you find out what Krishna wants, and at least you offer him that. I mean, not even if the offering isn't with love and devotion, but at least you're trying to, you know, move in that direction.
Offer it without tasting.
Yeah, these are all parts of the mechanics. You know, certain things you do, you're not thinking, well, I like samosas today, I'm going to make samosas for Krishna. And then as soon as the offering's over, there are no samosas left. You walk out quickly before the class finishes and disappear with all the samosas. They've always come down, there's only cold rice and dal left on the mat. Sometimes, I don't think that's usually, sometimes you see the cooks walking out with most of the maha, or after Mangal Arti, you know. I need some sweets, I'm going to see a life member. I'm sorry, they've all gone. 5:05, you know, in the morning.
We have a policeman at Soho. He doesn't allow us to take.
Oh no, that's terrible. Oh my God. You have to bribe him, you know. Is this the policeman here? He gives them all to me. He gave me a whole box full of them. Hare Krishna.
Festival time,
He's good, yeah, good.
Making sure all the cooks don't take everything.
No entry. They used, Prashun, you know, there was a time in the 70s, late 70s, when all the Mangal Arati sweets were going missing. Every day. During Mangal Arati. Yes. Nobody could find out who was taking these sweets. Eventually Vichitravari locked him in the office, his office. Locked him in his office. That no one's going to get them there. 5:15 he went in, missing. All gone. Mystical, huh? This is going on for quite a while like this. Eventually, he had one devotee posted. He put him inside the cupboard in his room just to find out what was going on. All of a sudden, about 4:40, the windows came off of the office. The windows came off, and two devotees crawled in through the window. And out went all the Maha sweets. They were a maintenance crew. Now they knew how to get into every room, door, window, everything. They were unscrewing it and putting it back. No one knew. They got caught red-handed. Giving you some ideas how to... anything else we can do to work towards a little bit more, like, you know, with love and devotion?
Be more simple. Be more simple.
Hmm?
Simple.
Yeah, simple. That's a big topic, isn't it? Simple as you can. Obviously, we're not meditating upon eating it. That shouldn't be there. Anything else? Well, because we follow the standard of how to prepare things. You may not like it, but you clean, everything's done in order, you know. There's a system. This regulation helps us slowly to, you know, get free of the delusion, of the illusion which we're in. And of course, the main point of all is we work under the direction of the one who has love. That's the key. We do it under their direction. And we do it in a way, when you offer the prasadam, we were taught like this. I don't know how they teach you now. But we're actually doing it. But we're doing it on behalf of the pure devotee. We're offering it on his behalf. That was our mentality. I don't know what you get taught. But that was how we used to feel. Even doing the arti, you're doing it on behalf of Srila Prabhupada. Like that. And you're thinking like that. How Prabhupada would like it done, you know. And that's the way it gets accepted by Krishna. Not direct, but through that system, Pampara system, to Krishna. And that way, gradually, the blessing comes back. The reciprocation comes back. So we can start, hopefully, I mean, you know, it depends how much we're conscious or how much we're sincere and how much, whatever, mercy is there. But that we'll start to become a little, then you're talking of the verse, someone quoted, Manmana Bhava Madbhakta. Who was that? You said one of you. The other aspect, isn't it? I mean, that's the Paribhasya Sutra of the Bhagavad Gita. That's the fruit of the Gita, isn't it? To always think of Krishna. Always conscious of Krishna. To worship, and worshipping isn't just a ritual. It's with one's very life itself. Always thinking of Krishna. There's 2 verses in the Bhagavad Gita, and there's a difference between the 2. In the 9th chapter, the last verse of the 9th chapter, it's almost the same. There's a little different. If you read it, you'll see. The last verse of the 9th chapter. Most confidential. Now we're finished on this. Now we're finished. We will be finished. This is the last verse of the 9th chapter. It goes, engage your mind always in thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisances to me and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. But then when we look at the 18th chapter, text 65, always think of me, become my devotee, worship me and offer your homage unto me. More or less the same. Thus you will come to me without fail. That was the previous, said the same thing. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. A little different than just doing it and then surely you will come to me. It's a surety because now you're my friend. You're acting according to my direction. You're willing to do what I want. All right, well, we're finished there for tonight.
Thank you much.
And some of you may be ready now to get your spades out and start garden. We've got a nice garden out the back. We can start growing vegetables and flowers and different things. You imagine if every devotee grew in their garden vegetables, flowers, fruits, whatever you could, you'd have quite a bit of food. Quite a lot. Anyway, you're too busy doing other things.
In the Pujari, Maharaj, some devotee brings their flowers from the gardens.
Yes, that's beautiful. That's fantastic.
Amazing.
Fantastic. If you can do that, that's really one of the best ways to make progress in this particular aspect of devotional service. I mean, you've got the Maha Mantra, the chanting of the holy name, but in a practical sense, this is one of the best ways to grow vegetables, fruits, and bring them to the temple. At least a percentage of what you grow should be brought to the temple. Yeah, really wonderful way of developing a relationship with the deities and having that reciprocation. You can tell the difference, can you?
Oh, yes,
big difference, isn't it? Yeah. All right, well, we'll finish there. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada ki jai. We're heading off to South London tomorrow. I think so, yeah, tomorrow. And then we're coming back on Friday to Soho. Is that right?
Yes.
He's a brilliant Chinese cook. If ever you want Chinese cooking, Wayron is a Chinese cook.
He's also chef.
Huh? Also Nepali cook? What do you cook?
Everything Nepali.
Everything?
Everything Nepali.
Everything Nepali.